Hey guys, and welcome back to another Spotlight video from Zabbix. And today our guest is Victor, who, by the way, also works in Zabbix as a global support team engineer and also the trainer. So Victor, welcome. Give us like a brief introduction of yourself, who you are, what you do, and how are you exactly related and connected with Zabbix as a software and also the company.
Okay, hello guys, hello everyone. Thank you, Dimitris. Well, who am I? I'm just another geek that really likes computer. And in Zabbix, not only as the company, but as the software, well, it has been my life since I started actually working in IT. And I gotta say, it's really amazing to be part of the team now. I've been around for 1 year. And it's really amazing to be integrating the team and to know everyone, like Alexei, like yourself. And it's really a pleasure to be part of the team.
You didn't tell, but you're from Brazil originally?
Yeah, I'm from Brazil, from Recife, the capital of the state of Pernambuco.
Okay.
And I'm a member of the Latin office. And yeah, we're completing 2 years now. It's pretty new, but we are already here, full throttle, full gas here.
Sounds good. And not a secret that every region is a little bit sort of different on their view and perspective on like the business, software, products, whatever else. Could you tell a little bit to us about the Brazilian market and region and the attitude to like the open source products, not only limited to the Zabbix, but as a whole?
Yeah, as a whole, Brazil is really open to open source. I mean, the government itself, they really like to encourage the use of open source, not only because it's cheaper, but because it enables all the community, all the members to support the technology, like whatever technology it is. It's not different with Zabbix. And it's pretty common nowadays. It's always more common to see in big companies they adopting open source software, and not only the private ones, the proprietary software, but they really endorse and enforce the use of open source.
Yeah, like the great value, of course, is the community. A lot of the resources out there available to anyone who decided to go with this product. And well, the main thing of open source, that the source is open. And
Yeah.
if you work in some government or company that is more into like security and worried about that, it's of course beneficial that the source code is open and you can always check what you are deploying in your environment or for your customers. And getting back like to the Zabbix, not a secret to any Zabbix user that Zabbix in Brazil has a special place in the Brazilians' hearts. So how did it happen? What exactly in Zabbix is so good and close to you that Zabbix became so popular there?
To Brazilians, it is started with don't remember when, but it was really earlier when Zabbix was released. Luciano was one of the pioneers to bring Zabbix to Brazil, and he's our CEO in the Latin office, and it spread out like in a good way as a disease. Everyone just started installing to monitoring their environments, their IT environments, and it kept growing. The community grew really fast. And the community is older than the Latin office, actually, and it is already really powerful there. We have lots of members that are contributing with templates, with integrations, with a lot of use cases of Zabbix in different branches and different industries, like hospitals and TV companies, and a lot of branches and industries.
Okay, and community, yes, as you said, it is really strong in Latin America and in Brazil, but every community would probably usually starts in some forums, communication channels, Telegram, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, whatever. Eventually get to the point that, hey, we need to come up together. We need to create some sort of event or some closer group of the people related to the Zabbix, the community members. How about this part, like events, some smaller groups, organization in Brazil?
Yeah, some members, old members of the community, they created the Zabbix Brazil, and as a forum, and then a blog, and then Telegram groups, and it started to people just started to flow there. And about the meetings, we had a lot of meetups around Brazil. You know, Brazil is really big. We had a lot in São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro and Recife, Porto Alegre, and all of these events were like connected to each other, even though there was no one, like a person behind it. So the community is really, how to say that, it's really together, it's really close together.
And it helps a lot, of course, also for newcomers to the product who just either decided or were sort of forced to start using the Zabbix by their company. All the experience exchange, best practices, some use cases that can be taken from some other company and then adopted for your needs. It's always easier when you have this community spreaded information that you can use in your benefit. But talking about yourself, so as I mentioned, you work in a Zabbix, you work technically in a Zabbix Brazil, but also like in a Zabbix SIA company for the global customer support. What was the journey for you to get there? Like what skills help you to, I guess, like sort of achieve your, we can say, dream to work in a Zabbix, in a company of the product that you hopefully like quite a lot?
I do like it. So I started working with Zabbix in 2016. Yes, 2016. I was working in City Hall. I mean, it's governmental company, governmental institute, and it didn't have a big budget. So we need to figure how we could monitor our environment, which was growing, and then we just stumbled up with Zabbix, and it was around 3.0, the version. And from there, I've been working with Zabbix since. We have deployed Zabbix on all the main buildings of the City Hall, and we were monitoring the infrastructure. And then I went to another company to work with Zabbix, but in a different way, because Zabbix in the City Hall was all about infrastructure, and in the second job I had, it was about monitoring the business metrics and databases. So it was kind of a different thing, but it was still Zabbix. And it just blew my mind how big the range of Zabbix is, how long it can go. And then I had the pleasure to meet Luciano at one community meetup in my hometown, Recife. And 1 year later, 2 years later actually, I came up with this announcement that Zabbix Latin was looking for employees. It was just after the COVID, and yeah, it went pretty well. I'm here today and still working from home, but it's like we are always in touch. So you know, it doesn't feel like I'm working from home. It feels like the real thing.
Sounds good. And to wrap it up, like perhaps you could give your piece of advice for some IT geeks or whatever who also have some sort of the wish to work in a Zabbix, with the Zabbix, because, well, I personally know that the skill set required to do all this stuff is quite high. It's not only about a Zabbix as a monitoring software, it's mostly about everything that is around the Zabbix that is being monitored, network devices, databases, Java application services, different database engines, containers, distributions, and so on, which is it's just hard to get all of this experience at once. So in your opinion, what would be like top, I don't know, 2, 3 things that people need to learn to be able to work with a Zabbix sufficiently and be like on a high level with it?
Well, basic, you need to know about SNMP, because infrastructure is one of the main things that we monitor. And I'd say database as well, so you can support your own infrastructure, or your own Zabbix infrastructure. These are the biggest ones, I believe. But as you said, it's like it's a world out there.
Yeah.
So everything you come to a point where you can just admit to yourself that I don't know, I have no idea how this works, but just know that Zabbix can work with it.
Thank you, Victor, for your time. It was a pleasure to talk with you, and we'll definitely see you around somewhere, right? So
Sure.
Thank you once again, and see you later.
Thank you.